Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Spider Sound Off. This is Tom.
And this is Porter.
We are back in our Henrico studios on a Sunday evening. We had 2 wins this weekend.
It's a dual win weekend.
Get us out of our...
Those are the best.
We had that 0-3 sad episode last week.
Center showed up for both games.
Yeah, this one will be a little more fun. We did, I might have mentioned earlier.
Nice crowds, by the way, both games.
I think I did mention in our last podcast we were planning on having a guest today. The guest had to postpone, so we'll reschedule that. And really can't blame him. So he's an assistant coach at a high school, and that team made the playoffs, so they had to have a new practice scheduled for today. So they were practicing during our pod. So I told him to go get that team ready for the playoffs, and we'll get him back later.
Just win, baby. Just win.
And when you're talking about someone who's been to 2 NCAA tournaments, they know what they're doing. So you got to give them.
Are you dropping a hint?
I don't know, maybe
dropping a hint.
But anyway, we'll reschedule that one later.
Okay.
We're working on some other guests too. We got nothing nailed down yet, but we'll definitely have some more guests between now and before we get to March Madness. But maybe we'll start this weekend with on Saturday morning there was a race at University of Richmond.
There was. I heard you came in third for your age group.
No, I didn't.
Fourth.
No. Yeah, let me tell that story.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, it's called the Spider Dash. I didn't even know it existed till this year. Thank you, Porter, for letting us know.
It was my wife.
Okay, well,
about it.
It's a 5K, just running around campus.
Yeah.
It was kind of a good day to run. It was like mid-40s, not too hot, not too cold. I'm an okay runner. But it's not like the Monument 10K if anyone's run that here in Richmond. There's not tons of people running it.
Not a competition.
So and there's a lot of walkers. So I ran the 5K like 26 minutes. It was an okay time, nothing great. But I'm like, hey, in the 46 to 55 age group, maybe I can get top 3 and get a certificate. I think that's what second and third get. I ended up in 4th.
Oh. That's like the Olympics, man. You're right there waiting for the award.
Well, it's worse than that.
You're runner up to an award.
It's worse than that because third place was someone by the name of Jonathan Austin.
Okay.
He's also known around town as Jonathan the Juggler.
Jonathan the Juggler.
So
what you're saying is the juggler is fast.
He juggled while running.
Wait, whoa, time out. The dude was juggling balls in the air legitimately. He
beat me by a minute.
And got a certificate.
That's right.
He took your certificate.
So third place
while basically embarrassing you with balls in the air, right?
That's exactly right.
Unbelievable.
I cannot juggle. I've never been interested in juggling. I'm still not interested in juggling. But I do need to learn to run faster because this guy can juggle and beat me in a race.
You're on the advanced side of the 46 to 55 age bracket. At least is he 46?
No, he's 55. So
what?
He's out.
Oh,
so he's going so next year I don't have to go against the juggler.
Oh, competition will be lessened, is what you're saying.
It's funny too because he passed me.
We graduate the juggler
probably before. It was not everyone started at the exact same time, but I saw him run by me, maybe at the mile mark.
Was he running backwards?
And but he was juggling, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. And now in hindsight, I should have knocked one of his balls out, and he would have to go chase it.
Heck yeah, dude.
And then maybe would have had a chance.
You know what? This isn't. Nobody says you have to be nice to get a certificate. You need that certificate.
But anyway, the best part about the Spider Dash is that when it ended, your price to run, instead of giving you a shirt which you're never going to wear, you got to eat in the dining hall.
Ooh, that's a bonus.
So I had a big brunch. I haven't had brunch in the dining hall in a while.
And Richmond has an awesome dining hall, folks. Awesome dining.
So anyway,
it's world class.
Got to run, got to pig out in the dining hall, and then later that day was Spider Brews.
And I unfortunately missed both because I had to run back to my hometown. Unfortunately, I had a really good friend's parent pass away, so I had to go to a funeral. So I missed all of this good stuff. I did scream back and getting back in for the time for the second half of the game, but we'll talk about that later.
So anyway, Spider Brews was Saturday. It was a great time. Saw some people who going to Spider Brews for the first time, and with it being senior weekend at both the men's game and the women's game, it did remind me of, and kind of to honor one of the parents of our seniors, Mike Walls' dad. My wife, I think it was 2 years ago at Spider Brews, remember seeing Mike Walls' dad go to one of the coolers where they had 4 different beers and say, give me a little of each in the same glass.
Nice, a little mix.
And he took a sip and was like, ooh, that was bad. And then poured it out, and I got another beer. But I love that story. So on senior day, reminded me of when Mike Wallace's dad tried to do a mishmash, what we used to call in.
He was wearing 21 at the game.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Well, I remember being a kid, we called it like the suicide when you went to the soda fountain and got a little bit of each one and ended up with some gray liquid. But anyway, Spider Brews was fun. I think Porter, you did show up at halftime, roughly.
Yes, right before half. We were down. We were down 3. I say 5. You say we were down 3. So we started with me.
And I'm guessing you noticed that I had plenty of Spider Brews.
Yeah, I would say it was. You were very loquacious and very loud, and luckily we're way up at the top, so only the people at the top can hear you. But
I was clean.
I think most people in the arena probably did hear you in that game.
There was one ref, which I just
got under your skin.
Yeah, he was bad. The other two were fine. This one guy just kept. I can't even remember because I had too many brews, but he was bad. So I was pretty much yelling at him the whole time, but also cheering a lot. It was a fun game.
A very good game.
Tons of scoring, no defense.
99-94.
I thought we'd get to 100.
We lit it up.
But we did have, I say a fan favorite or a non-fan favorite to a guy who's a few rows behind us. Romaglu had a couple big threes.
Yeah,
that lifted our spirit.
Romaglu actually was probably the difference in that second half. 6 rebounds, 2 huge threes. And even though the analytics say he should not be the guy taking them, when he hits it, we'll just throw the analytics out the window because we're fans first and statisticians and prognosticators second. And those 2 threes were huge difference maker in the game for us. So congrats to AP for that.
Now, it was a battle of 2 teams in the bottom 4, but the game was super entertaining. Like a lot of scoring.
And a huge crowd. I mean, it was a massive crowd.
It was 5,500.
Well, that's a big crowd for a team that's, bottom 4 in the A10. That's a big crowd.
Probably 15 students. I didn't even bother counting. There were so little.
Yeah, the student turnout hasn't been good. That's not been great.
So AJ and Will were over 20. So it was good to see kind of them scoring
Argerbright
a lot.
was 14. Most in the first half, actually. Had a huge first half to keep us in it. Nice little layup right before halftime.
Yeah, Argerbright looked great. I mean, so the offense was really clicking. Our defense was bad. It was better than theirs. Which was good to see.
Good enough.
The team, we looked better this time without Beagle than we did last game. I think it's just either practicing more with that, knowing that they're not going to have him off the bench. So
it was nice to have AP too, to give another big that could come in for Walls that is a little taller than your 6'4", 6'5" center, right? So they have was it Martin on that team? Frank Martin. Who's the big guy down
not Frank Martin. Mitchell.
Frank Mitchell, down low. I mean, that guy's a handful, so you've got to have somebody big on him.
Yeah, and I like seeing, it's obviously we'd love to have Beagle playing, but with Beagle out, we're seeing a lot more from Robinson. Daughtry was kind of he played
Had some moments. Had a nice take in the second half where he went right to the rim.
We'd like to just see him continue to get a little more time, but, he's got to earn it. But anyway, big win. We were just talking earlier, we got 3 games left. We're at Chicago, who's really the bottom team in the league.
That's going to be a win for us.
We better be. And then we end with Dayton at home, and Dayton's okay.
Dayton's tough.
But they're not the great Dayton team. This is an okay Dayton team. And then Duquesne, which is a similar level. They're both kind of 500, maybe a game over in the conference or fighting for those sort of spots. Now, if you want to say, how do we make sure we're not in the bottom 4? We have to win all 3 games.
Yeah, just win all 3.
2 out of 3, maybe there's a chance, but we lose a lot of tiebreakers because we didn't beat many teams. And we beat all the bottom teams, and they're not the ones we're going to be tying with.
Yeah, I mean, the teams that have 6 wins, like Rhode Island has the tiebreaker against us. GW has the tiebreaker against us. Our best chance would be us going at least 2-1 and Fordham losing their last 3 and both of us ending with 7 wins. I think that's our best shot because Fordham has some tough games and we should be able to win 2 of our last 3.
So we got a ways to go to figure that out, but it's likely we're in the bottom 4, but there's a chance we win these 3 games. And heck, if we could have a 4-game winning streak, we'll be feeling a lot different.
If you win the 3 games, you're going to be out of the bottom 4. Yeah. That's for sure. Yeah, but I mean, Dayton is no pushover, and Duquesne on the road is not going to be an easy game either. So it'll be tough. But I mean, the good news is, like we said earlier in the year, we have the ability to beat, I think, any team on a given day. The problem is we've shown no ability to stack wins against good teams, and so you're going to have to stack wins against good teams in the A10 tournament if you have any chance And I haven't seen any signs that we can do that yet.
Now, going back a day, I think it was Friday night, there was the big nationally televised A10 matchup of VCU St. Louis.
Yeah. A little feisty ending.
Well,
that,
yeah.
Right?
So if anyone remembers, I think it was last year there was a fight in the stands.
Okay.
I think it was like parents of each team were fighting each other or something crazy.
Wow.
And then this is to get at St. Louis. This year, they already had played in Richmond, and St. Louis won that game. So this was kind of a rematch in St. Louis, and VCU had a big lead at half. VCU looked like they were going to dominate this game, and then they got whooped by St. Louis in the second half. And what was it? I don't know if you've seen that play, but they were basically dribbling out the clock.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy dribbling out the clock kind of gave a little arm push to someone who got too close to him. And then he kept dribbling, and then someone else came and stole the ball.
Heaved a half-court shot, if I recall.
No, well, he stole the ball, and then Avila pushed him out of bounds.
Ah, yeah, okay.
And then someone else came and pushed somebody else. Well, there was a lot of pushing going on. And so I put on our Instagram page, going back to a Providence game from a week ago, and there was a big fight. Like maybe these teams are trying to audition for the Big East, and so they thought they had to get into a
fight club,
because Big East liked putting on fights. But that was a pretty ugly moment. I think we all agree that both teams should be banned from the A10 tournament for that.
That would actually be.
But
okay.
that's not what the Atlantic 10 decided. I think they fined both schools and said, like, you're all we got, so you can just keep playing all your players. But anyway, it was kind of funny to see that that melee. You know, if we're not able to make a big run and upset some teams, those two are likely going to see each other in the final.
St. Louis is really good. I mean, they're going to be a fine representative from the A10 this year in the tournament. I want to see them beat some teams and bring some prestige back to the A10. Like, I'd love to see them make a Sweet 16 or beyond run.
Yeah,
they'll be picked on a lot of brackets to win some games in the NCAA tournament this year.
That would be nice, but they better keep their players on the bench and not running off the bench. I don't know. Did you see at the end of that game, because there was like 1 point something seconds left? VCU had 4 players, because that's all they had, that were not ejected.
Okay.
And St. Louis had 6.
Oh.
So it was 5-on-4 for the last whatever second plus, because the melee happened on the other side of the court from the benches, and all the benches kind of came out to the melee, and there was still time left. So everyone on the VCU's bench got ejected, and almost everybody from the St. Who's the one? I want to know who's the one person on the St. Louis bench who sat there and didn't get in the fight. So he didn't. Maybe he's an injured player.
Might have been hurt. You never know, right?
But anyway,
smart for not getting involved though.
So the men had a great win, and then we went into today's game.
Yes, big game.
And right? The women were home against LaSalle, a team that had gotten hot.
Started slow. First quarter wasn't pretty.
Yeah, no, it was like we scored more than 9. So I was like, hey, we did score more than 9 in this first quarter, unlike the last couple of games. But
the defense was not good.
But
in the first quarter, I should say.
But we had kind of one kind of new, kind of unsung hero, kind of had played a little bit here and there. And
you've been talking about her last couple.
I've been talking about
games.
it, but Aneisha Scott came in.
Great Scott. What happened? What happened there?
She just killed it. And it actually reminds me, I'm going to backtrack a bit. At the Spider Dash, we got like a bag of like stuff. You know, whenever you do races, you get a bag of stuff. Well, one of the things we got was like this little, if you're watching it on video, it's a thing. And I realized, like, for Aneisha Scott, like, she's got the headband, right?
Yeah.
Should I rock the headband?
You should rock the headband. Yeah, put that on. Yeah. I like that. I like that. In honor of Aneisha's breakout performance.
Aneisha's 20 points tonight.
20 points. The last freshman to score 20 points in a game for our women's program, I believe, was Maggie Dugan.
I've heard of her.
January of 2023, by the way. 28 points against St. Joe's in January of 2023.
Yeah,
so
Maggie turned out all right.
That's a pretty good company for a freshman, right? To be the first person after Maggie to do that. So we're very excited. And I think Rhode Island, who we play on Wednesday nights, probably rushing right now to the video room to try to work up a scout on Aneisha Scott, because I guarantee you Aneisha was not on LaSalle's scout report. And it was, if you watched how she took over that game in the second quarter, coach, to his credit, saw the momentum and the spark, left her in the entire second quarter, and then she played a ton in the second half as well.
Well, to his credit too, like he saw that spark in the last game.
Yes.
It's probably, in watching film, kind of said like, wow, like, and obviously putting words in his mouth. He may have said like, boy, maybe I should have used her more in that game. Let me figure out how I get more action for her coming up. And we are in this kind of dull spot offensively. Brought her in probably at a similar time when he brought her in the last game, but he kind of let her go. And if you didn't see it, like, she is a confident point guard. Like, there is nothing when she's dribbling the ball, you think freshman. Like, she dribbles with confidence. She's a good ball handler, and she had 2 threes today. So she showed she can shoot from deep, which is nice.
We said she's been very impressive offensively when she's been on the floor. I haven't been certain about the defense, but let me just give you this. She took multiple people to the rim repeatedly and scored in multiple ways. She was fouled a lot. She had some up and under. She had layups. She had a bevy of moves around the rim, which, given that she was the smallest player on the Spider side, was very impressive. Secondly, when they managed to cut it off, she showed a quick pivot and then flip out to the three-point shooter, which was, exactly the Roussel read and react system. So she played that part well. She took 2 3-pointers, I think, in the game, or she hit 2 3-pointers, and she was confident on both of them. They looked really good. She showed a couple mid-range jumpers. Now, I'm not sure Roussel loves the mid-range jumpers, but like, she hit one of them. And again, when the confidence is looking like it was for her, everything was working. The ladies on the team mobbed her after the end of the game.
Yeah.
The celebration was in full effect. I mean, they knew how special that performance was. 20 points out of Aneisha Scott. Just a really, really good performance. She also kicked in 3 assists, only had 1 turnover on the game. Put up her advanced stats for the game were off the charts. So I think you're going to see. We've been thinking about the need for the 4th scorer to be able to win the Atlantic 10 tournament, and we have the platoon at the 5, which when it works really, really well. We have Newell, who can get to the rim, but depending on whether or not her 3-point shot is working or not, kind of depends on whether she can be that 4th scorer. But Scott in this game, I think, scored so confidently. You actually now have probably 2 more games if you're Coach Roussel to figure out what you have going into the tournament.
Yeah.
Could she be a difference maker in the A10 tournament? Or was it just that nobody had ever seen her and she just surprised everybody and took over a game? I mean, now people know about her. You're going to see the scout, come in on her. I'm not sure necessarily that a good scout's going to be able to stop her because, like I said, she's got multiple dimensions on her offensive game. But the thing that impressed me the most about her in that game, Tom, was just how good her defense was. She was in the right place. She was physical with her player. I thought she was a really good defensive player. She took a charge. Yeah, she was bodying folks up. I mean, she just looked so good on both sides of the ball. It was kind of a coming out party for Aneisha Scott. She has announced herself to Spider fandom that I'm here and I'm not going to be ignored. And you know what? We are all paying attention now. So.
Yeah, so that second quarter, so we were down 21-16 after the first. We outscored them in the second quarter 28-12.
Yes.
And at halftime, I think it was at halftime, it was one, or maybe it was a timeout. Aneisha had been on fire. She was coming to the sideline. Coach was like front in the line to give her like a little low 5, and he had this look on her face, or on his face, of like, it was like a mean look, like, and not like I'm mad at you, but like you're playing so tough. He gave this like tough look on his face of like, man, like, that was awesome.
Well, you even said like on one of her moves on the far side of the court, she just literally abused a player going to the rim for, maybe it was he went underneath the basket for a reverse layup, and Allie and the coach looked, it was one of the assistant coaches, looked at each other and just shrugged and fist bumped each other. That's that, right? That's pretty impressive. So
and so what if you didn't see the game, and this is like, I think, where we can see the opportunity. It's not that like now we have the big 4, like, we're not putting Aneisha Scott is not there, but like, her and Newell can now play together and give Allie a rest.
Absolutely.
Or her and Allie can play together.
Coach played her and Allie together. That was pretty fun to watch.
Give Newell a rest. I mean, because Allie has played 40-minute games at times this year, and we've just come off of all these games in a row. We know the conference tournament is going to be multiple games in multiple days. So at a minimum, even if Aneisha Scott is not this big difference maker in the tournament, if she can give Allie, 33 minutes a game for the rest of the season, and just have Allie that much more fresh when we get to the A10 tournament, like, there's value there at a minimum.
It's another weapon, and I give Roussel some time to kind of figure out what he's got with this, because I mean, for one, how exciting are we now for next year? Like, I mean, I was so worried about losing so much. but you've seen moments out of Aneisha Scott. Rain Wright and Perchetti can play. You've got Allie back, and you've got Alicia Newell. I mean, you've got like 5 players now that I feel pretty confident can do some pretty good stuff for us next year, plus these great recruits coming in. A couple other things about the game. It was senior day, so before the game, really nice gesture. 3 of our seniors took flowers over to the LaSalle seniors, presented them with flowers, saying, hey, it's the last time you'll be at the Robins Center. Congratulations. I loved it because it was Maggie, Rachel, and Sam. So we sent over like our, 2 future Hall of Famers and said, here's some flowers, because that's just an intimidation factor. And I love that, by the way. Wait a minute, they're disarming me with how nice they are, and now I've got to go cover her, right? So I love that gesture. And then, we announced all the seniors, and there are quite a few seniors on this team, ending the ceremony with Rachel and Maggie. And just to get to see them with their parents and getting applauded and recognized. It was special moment, special day. Big crowd today, too. It was great to see. Very good day today in the Robins.
Well, a couple things just to add to that, which is interesting. It's, you only see this in the women's games, is that they, at one of the timeouts, they recognize the 3 seniors who are on the, the practice team.
Yeah.
So they have male undergrads from the university who volunteer, and some of them are managers on the men's team who kind of volunteer their time to go to the women's practice to be another team that the women will practice against. So I don't know if it's every practice. It probably isn't. But every now and then, they're kind of the scrimmage team. And so they honored kind of 3 of those seniors. Again, you won't see that on the men's side. And it was also great at the end where it's kind of gimmicky, but it was worth it, where the coach, we're killing these guys by 20 points at the moment. He throws in, there's a timeout. He throws in Rachel and Maggie. And then even before the ball is put in, he then subs them out.
Yeah.
So they each got the big senior.
Same with Jada Green. And it was just.
But it's also funny because that's like the Saturday senior night. And then looking ahead, we have another home game. We have the big home game of the year on Wednesday.
Huge
against
game.
Rhode Island.
It doesn't get any bigger than this. This is, I can't say it's for at-large, but it is the game of the year in the A-10. Richmond, Rhode Island, battle for first place.
Well, it's not.
It's a share of first place.
No, it won't, because
really?
we lost. Remember, we lost 2 in a row. So they got 2.
Oh yeah.
So they have 1 loss. Right. We have 3.
Yeah.
So this game probably doesn't mean a whole lot for the standings. Maybe it helps George Mason. I don't know how that tiebreaker would work, but it's most important for our at-large.
Yeah.
If we want to have any chance of at-large, we have to have this Rhode Island win. And while we are hoping kind of our loss in the A-10 tournament last year kind of is a chip on our shoulder and we can win the A-10 tournament this year, if we went to the final and lost to Rhode Island, maybe we'll still be around that 40 sort of net. Yeah. So we're going to be on the bubble.
We're still hanging around. We were 42 this morning in the net. I think the LaSalle shouldn't move us in one direction or the other too much. So, look, you stay around 40, you win your last game after Rhode Island, you go in 25-6, you win your first 2, that's 27-6, and you somehow get beaten by Rhode Island in the final. It would probably need to be Rhode Island in the final that beats you, because, but let's say that happens, 27-7, you're 40 in the net after that happens. I'd still put us at about a 25 to 40% chance of an at-large if you're sitting at 40 on 27-7. I'm not saying it's above 50, but it will definitely be so much. There's enough of a probability that they'll probably have to have the party for the selection show.
Yeah, I would bet that we end up in the last 4 out bucket.
Odds are you're still going to be. But nobody's saying we have a chance. We're the only people right now saying we have a chance, and that's only because the 40 in the net, you're going to be compared against ACC schools that have 10, 11, 12 losses. You'll have 7 losses. That also will mean we have beaten Rhode Island this next game and St. Joe's, both quality teams. And then you might get another quality win in that first or second round of the A-10 tournament. So, you're going to get 3, maybe quad 2 wins along the way. So you're going to have it's still possible. Yeah. I'm going to say if all of that plays out, 35 to 40%.
Yeah. You just don't, we've been there on the men's side. You just don't want to be
no worse feeling.
You don't want to be watching the other games and be like,
we want to win the A-10.
You don't want an upset in a smaller 100%. Conference tournament.
100%.
Or in the ACC, you get an upset and you're like, well, they just took one of our spots. So we played Rhode Island back in December. Season was a long time ago.
Yeah.
We lost to them at Rhode Island 73-61. It's hard to remember. It's been so long. Maggie had 26, so it wasn't like this was, a Maggie dud or anything like that. They
Rhode
beat
Island
us with a good version of Maggie.
Just moved the ball so well against us that game. They were motivated. They passed it extremely well. We weren't closing out on shooters. I was sitting there I wrote notes about that game. We covered it in one of our episodes. I'm like, they just reminded me of us. They're just really efficient.
They were up first quarter. This was, a bad first start for us. So we were down 18-13. In the first, and we've kind of seen some bad starts lately. We had gone on a run where we were just blowing people out in the first quarter, but we're back to kind of where we were earlier in the year, having trouble starting. And then in the fourth, they beat us by 12. They outscored us by 10 in the fourth. So we were right there going into the fourth. We had a good third to cut it, but we just couldn't handle them in the fourth quarter. So we've got it's a tough one. This is a team that's beaten us. Not many teams have. And we got them at home on Wednesday. It's really the last home game.
Yeah, make sure you come out for that one, folks. Come out to that game. Support these ladies.
It's 6 o'clock.
Special team. Got to be there for that one in person.
And it's on ESPN Plus for you out-of-towners, so definitely watch that. It's not our last game of the year. I think we have. Do we have one more after that?
One more game after that on the road, I think.
Who do we play last?
We end with?
No, that's Rhode Island.
That's St. Joe's, I think. I don't think we've played St. Joe's yet. They're a good team. So
yeah, St. Joe's. Yeah, we end at St. Joe's,
which is another quad 2 game. So that's important.
Yeah, they're 19-8.
Yeah.
The men have Loyola Chicago, which was the big NCAA darling a few years ago, and then moved to our conference. And this was supposed to be like their first really good year. They spent a bunch of money on the portal, supposedly.
Hasn't been good.
Yeah, so
we've talked about them in a lot of early episodes too.
They've been a disaster. Now, the good thing, they haven't really. I've been wrong with them because I thought they'd come into the league and have a terrible year, but upset a bunch of good teams and just tear apart our resumes. They've just been bad all around. They haven't. I don't. They've got some wins. What do they have? 2, but no, they have 3.
Yeah, they've won a few, but not many.
No. But anyway, we will see. I'm not counting on that game being an exciting one. Hopefully, we take care of business. We will see if that's possible. I mean, we know when we're not good, we can lose to anybody, and when we're good, like we can beat anybody in this league. There's a road trip to Chicago as well, so we've got to do some traveling. The weather's always kind of making that harder than it should be right now. But anyway, so we got Chicago midweek on the road. We've got the women at home against Rhode Island. The last time to see Maggie Dugan in the Robins Center. Same for Rachel and some of our other seniors. So please come out. Hopefully we see you on Wednesday, 6 o'clock, the Robins Center. Let's get a big crowd to wrap up the season in a positive note. And then we'll be at the Henrico tournament. We got official media passes. We are official. So we'll be at that tournament up in Henrico, not in our Henrico studios. We'll be at the Henrico tournament.
Big weekend.
Did they steal that name from us? You think?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Okay, well, so that'll be fun. So hopefully we see you at the women's game next week, and then see you at the Henrico Center. I guess a week and a half after that.
Absolutely, folks. Again, great game for the ladies. Great game for the men this weekend. 2-0 over the weekend. Great way to finish. And we will see you guys. It'll be interesting to see if we had any A10 players of the week. Is one game enough for a freshman of the week performance? We will find out tomorrow.
We will see.
Or today when this releases. So.
Yeah, but until next time, this is Tom.
And this is Porter.
And this is Spiders. A little happier this time.
Sounding off. See ya.